Our thanks to Kenny Thomas, Walt White, French for coming in, hanging out with us every Thursday at 6:30. Want to throw another plug out there. This is going to be really cool, actually. The Firefighter Combat Challenge, October 22nd through the 27th, right here in Sacramento. He said it's going to pump over $1 million into our local community. That's awesome. Go out and watch the firefighters from around the world attacking that course. Will be on ESPN3, October 22nd through the 27th. Still to come. The show just continues to roll along. Jeff Risdon of the Browns Wire will join us at 7:35. We'll preview that Raider game. Sam
First of all,
Amick.
you're not smarter than me.
That's Emily. Oh, you just found a bunch of old clips, didn't you? That's our good friend Emily Campagna, who we haven't had on in a while, by the way. And we need to. Jeff Risdon's going to preview that Browns game. Sam Amick, his first appearance as a member of the Athletic, and Sean Willingham from the PBR will be in studio as well.
Yeah, I sent you a bunch of sound bites
because
I was saving some stuff from that Kenny Thomas segment.
Yes.
And in saving that, I went to the sound bites folder and realized there's a ton of stuff in there that I have not sent you yet.
Yeah.
To put in the board to use.
There were a few things said in that segment alone that were pretty, when it's out of context. Don't isolate that. Don't isolate that.
I sent you that one too.
Which I guess is like isolate that. Hey, before we get to the Niners, this just coming over the wire from Darren Ravel. Respect Dick. Respect my authority. You need to stop. This is great. Not that soundbite. Fans will now be able to purchase any portion of any game on League Pass. Out-of-market local games once the buzzer sounds to end the third quarter. The price initially will be $1.99, whether the fan buys it at the start of the quarter or to watch the last 30 seconds. By December, the league plans on giving fans the option of buying by the start of each quarter for a yet-to-be undisclosed, or I guess it is an undisclosed price. The league also plans on eventually selling packages of 10 minutes of real game time action in real time. Price for a full game sticks at $7. You get that on NBA.com or Bleacher Report Live. You know why they're doing this, right, Kyle?
Yeah, for League Pass alert.
But you know why they're actually, like, what the push is, why they're really doing the whole because for gambling. That's what's happening now. This is where it's going to go now, where you're going to have gamblers who want to see the over.
Quarters,
exactly. You're going to have you're going to see a lot of different a la carte things now for gamblers to be able to spend money on.
Well, I also think that they know that there will be like a close game, and people go, "I'm not buying the whole game." But right. you'll get people who are watching who paid $7 for Warriors Thunder. And, it's a 20-point game in the fourth quarter. But Hawks Nets is a 3-point game going into the fourth. They'll pay $2 to go watch the end of that.
What I wish they would have is a channel, much like what they do with the NFL Sunday Ticket. It's a little bit of a different game, obviously, but like a last
inside the paint.
It's something like that, where it's like a last 5 minutes channel. Yeah. And you have the opportunity to split screen all the games that are in the last 5 minutes, and then you can individually, with the cursor on your remote, you can go to these individual games if you want to full screen them. Because a lot of times, remember, these games start generally at 4:05 and 7:05. So you're going to get a lot of games ending right around the same time. Good to see, however, they're coming out of the Stone Ages there. And quite frankly, the ability to be able to do that on your phone or on your tablet is going to be one of the biggest deals there, too, as there's just more and more and more accessibility to these games. We'll break when we come back. We'll fit the Niners news into the 7 o'clock hour that we missed right now. Also, A's, Mariners. We'll update you on what the Yankees did. And an announcement for the A's that has a little something to do with us, I guess. But the A's making a decision early on their flagship station. It's a story we've been following throughout the year. We'll talk about it next right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Week 4 of the NFL starts with a great NFC matchup featuring the undefeated Los Angeles Rams hosting the Minnesota Vikings.
What's going to go? Touchdown LA!
Coverage begins tonight at 5, following Grant and Doug here on your home of the NFL, Sports 1140 KHTK.
You always hear me thank Jiffy Lube for doing so many different things with us, like sponsoring the text line. They're also one of our sponsors of the video cast. But in addition to doing fun things with this show, they also happen to do fun things with you. If you consider something fun being having your car operating at peak performance. Now, with summer over and all the carpooling and commuting that you're doing and the weather going to change here pretty quick, my good friends at Jiffy Lube have your auto maintenance needs covered with oil changes, tune-ups, brakes, wiper blades, batteries, and so many more services. You got your check engine light on, Jiffy Lube can help. Brake squeaking, Jiffy Lube can help. With over 25 convenient locations in the greater Sacramento area to serve you. Visit them online for those valuable coupons at jiffylubeka.com. That's jiffylubeka.com. Hey, Jiffy Lube, guess what? They've got you covered.
Once upon a time, there was a young lady who wanted to have fun and be fit. She joined California Family Fitness and went to spin class, and it was very fast. She went to gentle yoga, and it was very slow. Then she went to cardio dance class, got her groove on, and it was just right. If you'd like to be part of this strangely familiar story and a gym with lots of fitness classes, join California Family Fitness today for only $1 and get 1 month free. Offer ends Sunday, September 30th, so sign up today. Join today for $1 and get 1 month free. California Family Fitness, where fit meets fun.
Downtown Ford's huge 2017 model elimination sale is on, and we must get rid of every 2017 Ford by the end of the month. That means huge dealer discounts on the most popular Ford models like Explorer, F-150, Fiesta, Focus, and Fusion. All brand new vehicles at extreme elimination prices. If you want a brand new Ford on a pre-owned budget, this is the sale for you. Get all of the hot new safety features standard, like front pass sensing system and advanced track electronic stability control. And don't forget about all of the cool technology like sync communication and entertainment system, backup camera, and more. But hurry, there are only a few 2017 vehicles left during Downtown Ford's 2017 model elimination sale. And when they're gone, they're gone. Come see us today at 525 North 16th or online anytime at downtownfordsales.com. Downtown Ford, crummy location, great deals. With approved credit, not all buyers will qualify. Not available with special finance, lease, or other offers. See dealer for details.
If you're a pro, you know the drill. Pull off the impossible. Keep it affordable. Don't cut corners. The Home Depot is up to the challenge with top names like the Kohler Wellworth toilet. Now at a great price, just $119, almost $30 off. You don't compromise. With Kohler, you won't have to. The Kohler Wellworth toilet, only $119. Now at the #1 Kohler retailer, the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through October 31st.
Headphones, case, charger. Walmart has everything.
Oh, you must love your phone.
Yeah, but I could use a break from my mobile bill.
Switch to Walmart Family Mobile. They have unlimited plans starting as low as $24.88 a month.
I can dump my old plan, but keep my phone and number?
Text BYOP to 611-611 to check your phone's compatibility.
Easy.
Get everything you love about Walmart and mobile. Walmart Family Mobile. Standard messaging and data rates may apply. Always refer to the privacy policy at myfamilymobile.com/privacy policy and terms and conditions at myfamilymobile.com/terms and conditions.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
So over the last couple of weeks, I've had several trips out to Stone's Gambling Hall, located right off I-80 at Antelope. And again, amazed, just absolutely amazed every time I head into Stone's Gambling Hall. One of the nights I was there, they had a band playing great music while we were there, eating at Sammy's, having an incredible meal, also having a good time with buddies, watching games on TV. Then we made our way to the gaming. And that is one of the coolest things because they gave a $25 match play when I downloaded the app and signed up for their player's card. My buddies did the same thing. It was very simple. Keep the card, keep accruing points, keep the app, keep getting specials. It's that simple. And if you like playing card games like poker or Baccarat or California Blackjack, my personal favorite, then you owe it to yourself to go and do this. It's that easy. $25 match play, and all you have to do is download the app. Make it simple for yourself and win some money with their money. Take my word for it. Download the app, sign up, and get $25 in match play only at Stone's. Again, located off I-80 at Antelope. Stone's Gambling Hall, the one, the only.
Big things are happening at Stockton Honda with the introduction of the all-new redesigned 2019 Honda Insight Hybrid. This premium compact sedan provides appealing style and fuel efficiency that rivals other leading hybrid models. You gotta check out this premium compact sedan, the 2019 Honda Insight Hybrid. You won't be disappointed. Come in today and meet our friendly staff or go to StocktonHonda.com. Stockton Honda, anytime, anywhere.
Broadcasting from the Sacramento Republic FC studios. KHTK AM and HD. KNCI HD3 Sacramento. This is Sports 1140 KHTK. We do sports. Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
Hey, this is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140.
Hey, Kyle.
I did not just sprint up the stairs this time, so I feel
you're nice
much
and
better.
calm.
Yeah, I am. My heart rate, according to my Fitbit here, 81 beats per minute. That's a little high.
Yeah, that is. Come on, dude.
I think I'm stressed out.
I think it's time you and I got into a fitness challenge.
Oh, snap.
I don't know how that would
I
work.
don't know how we're going to be fitness challenge into our schedule, but we can try. The A's won last night 9-3. They're now a game and a half back of the Yankees, who lost to the Rays 8-7. Oakland's elimination number for the first wild card spot is just 2, so they need to win their upcoming series against the Angels and get some help from the Rays and Red Sox, who each play the Yankees over the next 4 days if Oakland wants to host a wild card game. It's 7:02. Time to visit StocktonHonda.com anytime, anywhere.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning, morning, morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
All righty. Big 2 hours of the show for you. 7:35, Jeff Risdon of the Browns Wire will join us to preview the Browns and Raiders. Sam Amick of The Athletic. At 8:05, we'll talk Media Day. He was down there in Los Angeles, literally climbing a podium to be able to listen to LeBron James speak. Saw the pictures of that. And at 8:35, Sean Willingham. We do this every single year. PBR's coming to town. We'll have a writer in studio. Those are always fun interviews. One of my favorite interviews of the year. All guests brought to you by the Fire Wings Hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. Let's start with some A's off-field news. As reported by the aforementioned Athletic, and the Bay Area sports guy is the guy who had this, Steve Berman, who I believe, Kyle, did you used to work with him? Kyle's nodding his head yes.
Yeah, I used to write over at Bay Area Sports.
He reports that the Oakland Athletics have announced that they are looking for a new flagship radio station. Their current relationship with 95.7 up this year, they will be changing. Not announced where they will end up in 2019. Now, it is interesting to note, back in 2010, they tried to purchase a station, KTRB 860. That failed. The idea being that the A's may, in fact, purchase their own radio station so they have control over the games being broadcast, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this because we got to get to the A's win here, and I also want to talk Rams-Vikings tonight. But I did talk quite a bit about this last night with a lot of A's fans on social media. Really good conversation, very passionate conversation. And it's probably not my place to talk about it. It's just my opinion. All of this is above my pay grade. And as I did on Twitter, before I say anything, I just want to say that I have the utmost respect for A's fans. I think we can honestly say that we have covered the A's on this show. You know, I always say more than any other show in Northern California, but I don't think shows outside of California are covering the A's too well. So dare I say you get more A's coverage on this show than any other show in the world. And we really do cover the A's, and we have since day one. We were down there at spring training. We've been on the bandwagon all year long. I have all the respect in the world, not just for A's fans, but for the organization, and especially Chris Giles and Dave Cavell, who've been on the show many, many times. I think they have done wondrous work with very little other than a phenomenal on-field product. But with the treehouse and all the dynamic pricing and everything they've done to work their tail off. And not to mention the fact that this team, to say they've overachieved is an understatement. I think they're the best story in baseball. I truly, honest to God, do. And I wish them the best, which includes my hope that they are able to purchase their own station, because I think that's the only way it's going to work. Because here's the bottom line. As much fun as we've had with 95.7 and goofing on them a little bit, there are not stations beating down the door of the A's to broadcast their games. That's the problem. Now, I was surprised until my bosses showed me, and you have to be very, very careful when you talk about ratings and such. But what I can say is that when I was shown the numbers, actual numbers, when we would put A's games on in the daytime or in the evening, everything cratered. Like, when I say it would flatline, because there's a little graph, I mean, like, literally it would flatline. Like, literally flatline. Which is sad because it's a phenomenal product. So I understand where the game is coming from, and also we've gotten crap because we don't run their day games. And occasionally on the weekend, we have to go for football. Well, football is king. And people just don't listen as much as you'd think to the A's on the radio. Now, is that because they're streaming online? Because now you can watch TV. Like, I have PlayStation View. If I want to watch a baseball game that I could normally watch at home, I can put it on my phone. I can put it on my tablet, my computer. I don't know what the answer is. The easy answer, the simple answer, and dare I say the lazy answer, is there are some very loud, passionate A's fans, but there's just not a lot of them. And you can tell that by the attendance or lack thereof. You can tell by their lack of ratings. Although on TV, they have the second biggest jump in Major League Baseball this year, but they're jumping from basically nothing. So I'm worried. I'm worried for A's fans about this because as much as A's fans were celebrating this online, be careful what you wish for, because in stations like 95.7 The Game and KHTK, and especially KHTK, which is a 50,000-watt flamethrower, you have a lot of coverage. And I saw a lot of people saying, well, put them on, KLMNOP in Auburn or, Ukiah or whatever. They'll broadcast every single one. Well, you're right, in about a 20-mile radius. That's the problem. So there's a reason why the A's have bounced around so much over the last decade, especially up here, because people don't listen to their games. And this year is a tremendous example of it because you could not have a better on-field product. You could not have an organization that has done so much to entice fans to go to these games, but they're third to last in attendance, and you can't get people to listen to them on the air. That's unfortunate. I hope they find their own solution. And somebody was talking to me last night offline. It's very interesting. They asked me this question, Kyle, I'm going to ask you. You're one of those diehard A's fans I know. He said, simple. Next Wednesday, if the A's are somehow able to miraculously host a wild card game versus the Yankees, will that game sell out? Like, if you had to bet money, will it sell out? If it's a Wednesday,
yeah, I'm betting
Wednesday
the house
game.
that they sell out.
Okay,
and it's not a day game; it starts at 5.
Would it be an evening game? Okay.
But if for no other reason, there's a lot of Yankee fans that come out to that.
That's true. That's actually a great point.
But a buddy of mine was looking at a possible home wild card game for the A's, and the cheapest ticket to get in the door right now is $100.
Okay, good. I mean, not good that it's that expensive, but you get my point.
Yeah. I given the A's history with playoff games, I don't think they will have an issue selling that out.
Do you think there is,
regardless of who they're playing,
a reasonable chance that should they make the actual playoffs, 5-7 game series, whatever, is there a chance that a home weekday night playoff game could not sell out?
No. Go look at 2012, 2013, any of the playoff runs before that.
Sure.
This team just hasn't. The fact is, if you want to maintain a diehard fan base, you have to win. Look at the Giants. Like, I know that this is not a shot at Giants fan. This is just a fact. There were not as many Giants fans going to games prior to their World Series runs.
Your point is valid in the sense that if you're saying there are bandwagon Giants fans, you're absolutely 100% right.
And that's
technically, I don't know how right you are, because since AT&T Park opened, they basically sold out. Up until recently, they've sold out almost every single game.
Like, up until recently, when they haven't been very good.
Right.
Okay,
I thought you were
that's my
saying
point.
before they got. Yeah, it's a technicality.
So the fact is, I was born in 1990. All right, I was born 28 years ago. I haven't seen the A's win a game past the first round.
Correct.
Every time they've gone past the first round since 1990, they've gotten swept.
Yeah.
And it's the same cycle of people know now. It's just a thing. Even the most casual baseball fan knows, oh, it's the A's. Anytime they get good players, they're going to trade them.
Sure.
That is just when you look at the Giants, when you look at any other franchise, there is something more endearing about that franchise that just a casual baseball fan in that area knows.
Is there something more endearing about any franchise in baseball, perhaps, in the A's this year, though? I think they're the most endearing franchise in baseball.
And in the short term, in these little pockets of time, they always are. They're always the plucky underdog, the team with the low payroll. There's a movie about it. But it's a 2 or 3 year cycle, and then it all goes away. And then another 2 or 3 year cycle. And those 2 or 3 year cycles would be fine if they were winning championships, but they're not even winning a playoff series.
We got a break, and we can go a second long here because this is important. It's, this is where some A's fans, not most A's fans have actually been really, really cool about this conversation and understand. I had A's fans telling me yesterday, I totally get it. Like, I don't even listen to the games, or there's not a lot of us. But I would say this. For those of you that are upset about my mentioning of the attendance and tying it directly to the ballpark, in which that's probably true.
Sure.
But here's the bottom line. The A's could not have put out a better product on the field than they did this year.
No.
And the attendance is the third worst in baseball.
Yep.
If I'm the Oakland A's and I'm thinking about spending literally $1 billion on a brand new ballpark, that is a hell of a chance I'm taking.
So right. Okay. And that's where I think there's a slight chasm in our conversation here, because this is this year's attendance.
Yes.
In 2018 and 2017 and 2016.
Sure.
Is a direct result of a long-term rift between ownership and the fan base. And that's going to take some time to mend, to get casual fans back that go, oh, hey, what? They had 3 All-Stars and then signed all 3 of them to extensions. I can buy a jersey. My kid can be a fan of this player.
But does that also explain the lack of radio and TV ratings?
Yeah. People don't want to pay attention.
I mean, if I'm a fan of it, and that's where I don't understand it. If I'm a fan of a team and that team is doing well, I'm watching that game.
Because not every fan is a diehard, I need to watch game in and game out. I need to listen game in and game out. Because people know, like, the sentiment, because that's where those massive ratings and stuff come from.
Sure.
I think just about every fan base has probably the same amount, about-ish, of diehard, hardcore, know all the players, know the farm system, know the history fans. But the difference is the amount of the casual fan who is going to go, yeah, I'll buy a jersey, I'll have a favorite player, and I know generally who's on the team, but, I'm not going to plan my day around watching the game. And the A's have like none of that.
Right. It's a catch-22, man.
Mm-hmm.
You go, well, if we build this ballpark, they'll show up.
That's okay, and that's where I think they would be correct.
But where's the data to support that?
It's
going to be more expensive.
Sure.
Significantly more expensive.
I'm guessing they've done a ton of research from people who go, yeah, I would go to a game if there was something to do near the Coliseum, or if there was a nicer, more modern venue and players that I could get behind and root for and have a favorite player.
How much is that offset by people saying
because we've seen baseball be successful in Oakland before.
We have.
We've seen them draw 2 million
at that
park,
like
regularly at the Coliseum.
Things have also changed.
Right. And it is a status symbol now to go to the new ballpark.
Yeah.
To take an Instagram photo at the new ballpark.
And do you have that same culture, and do you have that same income? And I'm just being honest here. I don't know. I would love to see numbers showing me the average income of a Giants fan versus the average income of an A's fan. Hey, it's a business.
The East Bay does fine.
You have to look at that. You have to look at that. And where they're drawing from. I don't know either way. I'm saying I don't know, but I think it's a major question. Hey, even if we build this new ballpark, We can't get ratings on TV. We can't get ratings on the radio. We can't get people to come to these games, and they're cheap. They're literally free sometimes.
Yeah.
And we have one of the best products in baseball. So what out of all of that tells me other than emotion?
They know they have to put a competitor over several years together.
Sure.
But it's a catch-22 of they won't sign those players until they get a ballpark.
Well, it ain't my money, and I hope they do that.
Yep.
I hope they do that because A's fans deserve that.
I think that the A's fan base is worth investing in.
I'm not sure. You believe that? I'm saying I have questions, but I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that they invest in them.
I'm looking at prior to I've seen baseball be successful. We have seen baseball be successful in Oakland before, and with all the other teams leaving, the A's have a real opportunity to corner the sports market in the East Bay, which is a large market.
And a very passionate and very loyal, very loyal. Dare I will say this, more loyal than their friends to the West.
Sure.
I will take the loyalty and hardcore crazy nut jobbiness of your East Bay Raider A's fan over your average Giants Niners fan. And I'm going to get killed by my own kind here because that's where I identify as Giants Niners. But hey, Raider fans and A's fans have been kicked in the crotch repeatedly for the last decade, and they're still there. The question is how many of them are still there, and one of those teams are leaving. It's a great conversation. We'll take a break. When we come back, we've got 4 Down Territory next right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Sundays are made for the NFL, and we've got you covered all day on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Let's go!
Our triple header begins with the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Detroit Lions at 10.
Zone, it's Jones, he's got a touchdown!
Then the Raiders return home to face Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns at 1.
The winless streak is finally over.
And we wrap up the day with an AFC North battle with 2 heated rivals as the Pittsburgh Steelers host the Baltimore Ravens in Sunday Night Football. The NFL plays all day on Sunday on Sports 1140 KHTK. We do sports.
Want a new car but don't want the hassle? Here's a tip. Visit Metacars.com for instant access to every new, used, and certified pre-owned vehicle in the Meta family of dealerships. Big Meta savings on over 2,000 vehicles. Easy financing for everyone. Over 7,500 4-star reviews, all in one place. Metacars.com. Visit Metacars.com to see why everyone is saying, "Made a great deal at Meta."
And a price. So here's a scenario. You're shopping and minding your own business. Your feet encounter a slick surface, and the next thing you know, you're injured and staring at the ceiling. In slip and fall cases, lots of evidence typically exists like video, witnesses, sweep sheets, and the like, which needs to be obtained to maximize the understanding of your case. So if you've fallen and you're injured and you believe more than gravity is to blame, call Ashton and Price. There's never a fee unless you win, so call Ashton and Price for a free consultation.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
This is Boomer Esiason with a CBS Sports Minute brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings. Come to Buffalo Wild Wings for our $5 game day deals. When Jameis Winston finished his suspension this week, he didn't get the welcome back from Cutter he had hoped for. Instead, Bucs head coach Dirk Cutter met with Winston and his understudy, veteran Ryan Fitzpatrick, to discuss plans for Sunday's game in Chicago. "We know what we're going to do," Cutter said. "Both guys know what we're going to do. I hope everyone can appreciate it doesn't do us any good to tell our opponents what we're going to do." Winston sure sounded like a backup yesterday when he claimed he just wanted to help the team. To me, there's absolutely no question in this regard. Fitz, who became the first to throw 3 consecutive 400-yard games, is the starter unless he's hurt or until the Bucs are eliminated from the playoffs. I'm Boomer Esiason. If you love football, yelling at television screens with friends, and wearing clothing with someone else's name on it, there's a seat waiting for you at Buffalo Wild Wings, where you can enjoy football food and football beverages on our new $5 game day menu. Cheeseburger and fries, brats and cocktails, and pitchers of beer are just $5 each. Escape to football and the new $5 game day menu at Buffalo Wild Wings. There's a seat waiting for you at Buffalo Wild Wings. Limited time offer. Price participation varies by location.
Napa know-how. Keeping it simple is usually a good thing. And when it comes to rewards programs, keeping it simple is always a good thing. That's why we made the Napa Rewards program effortless. All you need is your phone number to start saving on the parts and tools you need. Then we automatically give you $5 off your next purchase for every 100 you spend. So start saving today with Napa Rewards. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa Know-How.
My name is Dale Pazinski, and this is how I live United. I volunteer with United Way, helping the homeless in my community by teaching computer skills and helping them build a basic resume to save on their very own USB drive. It's huge when somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
I'm Brian from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
2 guys? You came with just 2 guys?
All you have to do is point.
It took 6 men to get that in here. What? But
all you have to do is point, sir.
What's going on in here? Hey, where's the...
I just pointed at it, and it...
We make junk disappear.
Anytime. Anywhere. We work until midnight, 7 days a week.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
The model year clearance is on at Maida Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Get exclusive all-in-stock discount pricing on hundreds of new Chevys at MaidaChevy.com. Find new roads.
Made a great deal at Maida.
It's time for 4 Down Territory on the Drive. First down.
4 Down Territory brought to you by Fire Wings. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. We're going to go quick here because we went long on that last segment. So, of course, I want to say one more thing to all the A's fans listening right now before we move on, Kyle. I will say this. Regardless of the hullabaloo and the malarkey and all the politics surrounding all of this, if KHTK still carries the A's games next year, and that's way above my pay grade, I don't know. I hope we do. I will say this. If we're still employed here, and who knows, we're going to go back to spring training again. As we've gone for 6 straight years, we're going to go back to spring training again. We're going to meet all the players. We're going to bring all that coverage to you. We can control what's on our show, and we're going to continue to bring you that coverage. And that's from a diehard Giants fan and a diehard A's fan because they are a hell of a story, and they have been nothing but fantastic to us all year.
Yeah, Fernando and Mark, their PR guys, are wonderful. All the players are super accommodating, the coaches.
I know we don't have a lot of time, but
wing it.
Real quick, I want to name off all the San Francisco Giants we've had on our morning show this season. I'm going to devour. I'm going to A, B, C, and devour some wangs. Okay, that's the full list. First down.
Hey, Fire Wings, just wing. Attorney Mark Garagos hinted. Mark G. hinted to TMZ.
Marky G.
hinted to TMZ that the Raiders and Patriots are interested in Colin Kaepernick, and something could happen next week. Does this make any sense?
It's the same attorney who said last year that a signing of Colin Kaepernick was imminent. It doesn't make any sense. And this has nothing to do with anything other than there's Tom Brady and there's Derek Carr. For a team to bring in Colin Kaepernick and deal with the media circus and spotlight that's going to go with that, one of 2 things is going to have to happen. Number 1, the quarterback's going to have to go down and Colin Kaepernick's going to have to come in and start. Number 2, they're going to have to either be in such a desperate position or have an attendance issue where him coming in is going to be worth it. That's not a comment on the politics of this. That's a factual comment on the media circus that will surround him if he plays in the NFL again. You're not dealing with that just so he can sit on the bench and back up Tom Brady and Derek Carr.
Right.
Makes no sense to me. Second down.
Second down.
Fred Warner is 3rd in the league in tackles. That's 49ers rookie linebacker Fred Warner is 3rd in the league in tackles. Is he a legit Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate?
From the 916, I love the Jiffy Lube spring training trip. Thank you, and we thank Jiffy Lube for that. To answer this question, I'm going to quickly turn it over to NinersWire.com's Kyle Madson, who's with us.
Yeah.
Kyle, welcome into the program. Fred Warner, who is, in fact, a rookie, as was just previous mentioned by the other Kyle, somebody that I was saying from day one in the draft was going to be a phenomenal pick, and my partner, Kyle Madson, actually questioned me on that quite a bit. Looks like he was wrong.
Yeah, hey, thanks. Happy to join the show anytime, you guys. Anybody who said Fred Warner was not going to be at least a solid player. Clearly didn't watch him enough in college. He's a perfect hybrid kind of linebacker safety who can play in the run but can also cover tight ends and running backs, the needed player in the middle of a front seven in the modern NFL. Not much of a surprise to me that he's been very good. As far as his Defensive Rookie of the Year candidacy, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he'll certainly be in the conversation all year. Another guy who's been very good, though, is actually on the team they're playing against this weekend in safety Derwin James for the Chargers out of Florida State. I don't know if you watch much Florida State football,
no.
But Derwin James is a heck of a player, so Warner's going to have a tough climb, but he's certainly talented enough to get there.
I know Derwin James. We're actually kind of close. We're so close, I call him Derwin Jim. Third down, because we're friends. Like Jim. Third down.
Third down.
We know each other.
Hey, don't get that Niners Wire guy on again.
Yeah, he
like
sucked.
Him. What a homer.
He's a terrible, terrible person. Third down.
Oh, I asked the question. Adrian Peterson has 236 yards in 3 games and only had 20 yards in one of them. So he has 216 yards in 2 of his games. Is he being talked about enough as a huge surprise this year?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Hey, not that long ago, I remember listening to a morning show that was laughing at the idea that he could go after the rushing record. Right? Laughing at that idea. It's still funny. It's still not going to happen. But this is pretty cool.
I think only half of that morning show we were listening to was laughing at the idea.
Kyle, I wasn't going to call you out. I wasn't going to call you out on that, but since you put it out, fine, call yourself out. Kyle wrongly laughed at the. You know what?
Oh my God, you're just the worst.
I am. Here,
you are the worst.
I laughed at it, and I'm still laughing at it because there's a better chance of me. There's a slightly lesser chance of me getting the rushing record in the NFL than there is of Adrian Peterson getting the rushing record.
Way lesser chance.
If some butts and candy and nuts. Here's the deal. It doesn't mean that he's not having 3 games in. And one of those games, that I think he had 10 carries for 20 yards, 11, he had nothing.
And that's why I think he's not being talked about that much.
Right.
Because, give us a half season. Give us 10 games. A couple of good games is nice, but I think people are inevitably waiting for the 50 yards over 4 game stretch where it's like, oh yeah, huh?
So
he's
far,
33 or however old he is.
It's a hell of a story though so far, especially considering his age. Yeah. And you wonder if that suspension, when he had the personal stuff going on with his kid and all that, if that left some mileage on his tank because he's notorious for staying in great shape. Fourth down.
All right, fourth down.
Really fast, Rams, Vikings, who you got?
I'm going to take the Rams, but I don't know if this is going to be easy. Any other day, this would be a very, very easy call, especially with the Vikings getting blown out but at home by the Bills. But because of that, they're going to be fired up, of course. That's number one. Number two, the Rams are missing 3 key defensive players, and the Vikings have a pretty good offense. Who the hell is going to cover Stephon Diggs? Who's going to cover Adam Thielen? You got Kyle Rudolph in the middle. I don't know. It sounds like Dalvin Cook's going to play in this game, although
Florida State's Dalvin
Cook. I'm still going to take the Rams because I just think they're the better team. But, man, this could be close. I'm going to go with something like 31-24 by a touchdown.
I think Minnesota is gonna tighten the screws a little bit, and I think that was a wake-up call they got last week from the Bills. The Rams, as you said, they're down Aqib Talib, they're down Marcus Peters, they're 2 corners on the outside against those very good wide receivers. Kirk Cousins has been good this year. I like the Rams to win, but I like Minnesota to cover the 7 points. The Rams are still getting 7.
That's crazy. I think we both kind of said the same thing, didn't we? Because I have winning by a touchdown. So we both like the Rams to win, but we both like the Vikings to cover. I'll go with that.
I think the Rams offense is just it's very, very good. And the Vikings got exploited a little bit last week, and we're going to see Sean McVay attack that relentlessly.
I'll tell you what we didn't attack was getting out on time. So we are way, way late. When we come back, Jeff Risdon of the Browns Wire is going to be interviewed by Kyle. It's going to be a wire-to-wire interview. I will help, though. I will help. We'll talk Raiders. We'll talk Browns. Text your questions into 441140. Tweet us at the Drive 1140 using hashtag Drive 1140, and your question could get asked and could get on the video cast. Back and forth, Sports 1140 KHTK. I think the fact that the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl. Zays didn't go to the World Series. Raiders didn't go to the Super Bowl in the last 15 years. Wait, did they? Yeah, they did. That's right. Callahan. Was that 03? 02, 03? I can remember what you did in your sports update, but I can't remember when that's tough. That's a real, either way you slice it, that is a heck of a bad combination. Ugh. Yeah, blame your dad. The Raiders that was in 2002. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Chicago, if somebody says Chicago, okay, well, the Bulls have stunk. The Cubs got a World Series. The Bears when was that? They went to the Super Bowl against the Colts with Devin Hester. And then I got to try to remember how long ago the White Sox won. Ooh, as we get to our next guest, Kyle, we might have a close one here. Padres, Chargers, Clippers. Ooh, that's stinky.
Yikes.
Joining us right now, he writes for the Browns Wire, does a phenomenal job there. And I'll bet you this is the most fun he's had writing for the Browns Wire in a long, long time.
Has to be.
Has to be. Jeff Risdon joins us. Jeff, it's Dave and Kyle. How are you?
Good morning. Great to be with you guys. And yes, it has been a fun time. I actually took over Browns Wire on Christmas of 2016, so this is the first time I've ever covered a win. It's different.
Wow. I mean,
that's incredible. And so you've had, it's been a good couple weeks for you because you're the managing editor of the Browns Wire and the Lions Wire.
Yeah, and getting 2 wins on the same weekend is the first weekend that Cleveland and Detroit have both won since November of 2014, which is and as a little background, I am a Detroit Lions fan, but I'm from Cleveland. So it's been a very interesting few years for me.
Hold on, let me go back to a conversation we were just having real quick because Jeff brings up something. What about Detroit? Jeff, we had somebody text us in saying, hey, my dad raised me to be an A's, Raiders, and Sacramento Kings fan. Has there been any area that's had it worse for the last 15 years?
At least Detroit has the Red Wings, I guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking, did the Red Wings win a title within the last 15 years, Jeff?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm putting you on
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, they did in about 10 years ago, and the Pistons won in 2006, I want to say. They beat the Lakers team with Karl Malone and Gary Payton and all the over-the-hill gang.
That's right.
But
so
the last few years has been rough. Actually, the Tigers were in the World Series. They haven't won it in a while. But the Lions, we have one playoff win in my lifetime, and I'm 46 years old. So,
Jeff, speaking of the Sacramento Kings and me being I'm just a diehard honk for this team, born and raised in this city.
I love me some Sacramento.
Hey, listen, I watched the celebrations at the end of that Browns game. I watched the game itself, watched the fans, watched the beer coolers open up, watched the fans on the street looking like they won the Super Bowl. And I'm going to tell you something. There were some really bad humans around America that poo-pooed and made fun of Browns fans for celebrating like that. I'll tell you, it was my favorite thing of the week. And that's before we even get into, Jeff, the story of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, it's very cathartic. I mean, Cleveland is definitely a football town. Even when the Cavaliers were winning their title and the Indians they could go to the World Series again, they're not even a fraction of what the Browns are to that city. So breaking the win streak or the losing streak, the winless streak, I should say, they did actually tie in Week 1. They tied Pittsburgh, which was considered a victory, by the way, by most people in Cleveland, and a loss by most people in Pittsburgh. So it tells you the mindset of Clevelanders. They love the Browns, and the fact that they actually have a lot of talent and it's finally translating into wins, that is something that they haven't had that in forever. I got texts from people from my high school. I grew up outside of Cleveland that I haven't talked to in 10 years. I haven't seen them since my 20-year reunion, and they're like, go Browns. It's crazy how fast the city has rallied around this team, and Mr. Mayfield has a big part in that, I'm sure.
Yeah, so now the Browns are going to come out west. They face the Raiders here at the Oakland Coliseum. Is there any concern about a post-win hangover for the Browns?
There is, and most of it is centered around Hugh Jackson being the head coach. He is not, and he just doesn't engender a lot of confidence. Hugh, and I say this as somebody who advocated him getting the job originally. I'm man enough to admit that I was probably wrong about that. He's done some better things this year. I think he's trusted his lieutenants, namely Todd Haley, with the offense now to do a little bit more for him. And Hugh is he's less micromanaging and more being a macro manager, and I do think that suits him fairly well. But it's tough to have confidence in a guy who is now 232-1 in his coaching career in Cleveland. It's hard. The talent is absolutely there. And if you look at this roster on paper, they should be a playoff team with Myles Garrett, Jarvis Landry, David Njoku. Their interior offensive line is one of the best in the league. They have playmakers on defense and Denzel Ward. Their linebacking crew is arguably the best in the league. Why are they not good? Why haven't they been good? A lot of the reason is the head coach, and that makes it tough to have confidence in them if you're going against a Raiders team where the head coaching is a little bit questionable too from the national perspective.
From the Browns Wire, Jeff Risdon joining us, and I agree with you. I feel like this is a Doug Collins to Phil Jackson thing where Hugh gets to work out the rest of the year, then you bring in some stud coach next year. I want to ask you, too, as we get into the roster itself, and we'll spend plenty of time on Baker Mayfield here. I'm a Niners guy. I have a huge place in my heart for Carlos Hyde, and lost in between all the first win for Cleveland and Baker Mayfield stories, the fact that Carlos Hyde scores touchdowns and has babies, one right after the other. But am I wrong here? And this is one of those things where please don't be a polite guest. Please tell me I'm full of crap. When I look at this Browns team play, and I've watched more of them than I probably should have this year.
You're full of crap.
Hey, I know I am in general. Is Nick Chubb the future of that backfield, though?
He is, absolutely. Okay. He is not there yet, though. He is not. He quietly has not looked all that good yet. Carlos Hyde is definitely the number one guy. He's not all that efficient. He's sort of like he was early on in his career in San Francisco, where if you got him, 8 to 10 carries, he did pretty well for you. But if you get up into that 15 to 20 range, he's just not. He's not one of those guys who gets more effective as the game goes on. I think the judicious use of him helps him out. Having Duke Johnson come in quite a bit has helped. But Chubb's pass protection, oh boy, it's a definite work in progress, and he's responsible for the blocked field goal, which ultimately cost them the potential win in Pittsburgh too. So he's not doing all that well for a rookie. So right now Hyde is still riding pretty high, and he scored a touchdown in all 3 games. Has done very well, and like you said, he had quite a Thursday last week. It was his 28th birthday, and he had a baby, his first child. So congratulations to him.
I want to ask about some more weapons on this Browns offense as we talk to Jeff Risdon of the Browns Wire, and asking for a friend, and definitely not for fantasy football purposes. Do you anticipate David Njoku getting some more looks with Baker Mayfield under center?
That's the hope. The hope is that Baker will use the center of the field more, and that's where Njoku is really good. He threw to him twice last week. That Njoku did catch both of them. He's been a little bit of a disappointment as well. He's off to a slow start, just 7 catches so far on 14 targets. He just didn't have a great connection with Tyrod Taylor, or Tyrod, however you want to say it. Mm-hmm. One of the reasons is that they sort of got away from using the middle of the field. One of the reasons why Tyrod doesn't turn the ball over is because he doesn't throw the ball over the middle. Baker doesn't have that problem. Baker's going to throw it wherever he wants to throw it. And with the way that they've used Jarvis Landry, they're using him down the field more. This is not the same Jarvis Landry who caught 7-yard curls in Miami for a living. He's got an average catch depth of over 11 yards this year. He's running deeper routes. That is clearing out more room in the middle. It's pulling the safeties to the outside. And that's where Njoku can thrive. Now, he's got some drop issues. He's dropped 2 balls. Probably could give him a third one as well. But, man, he has so much potential. He's one of those guys. I saw him in training camp this year. He's one of those guys where he walks around without the shirt on, and all the ladies are like, yeah, you can keep that off, please. He's an incredible athlete. And he is starting to put it together as a complete football player. He's blocking better. He's running a little bit better routes. The concentration drops have to stop, but he could be really, really good.
And we're way past the whole, hey, Myles Garrett could be good in this league thing. He just seems to have asserted himself as what is going to be a perennial all-pro.
4 sacks so far. He's created that Pittsburgh game, he stopped 2 drives in a row. He had a strip sack and a forced fumble. Had a tackle for loss. Even when he isn't impacting the stat sheet, he's getting sacks for other guys. Larry Ogunjobi, second-year defensive tackle, got 2 sacks last week. Both of them were directly attributable to the blocking help looking at Myles Garrett and not helping on him. So he's making other people around him better. He is a freak. He's so much fun to watch, guys. I really hope that Raiders fans will appreciate him. He's got a good battle going up actually this week. I'm kind of excited to see how he does because I have a lot of respect for the Raiders offensive line and even what Colton Miller is doing. But he's fun to watch.
If you had to pick one guy, Jeff, who gets the most credit? And again, we're under the assumption that the Browns are a team on the rise and the Browns are a team that are on the cusp of being something pretty good in the NFL. And I think that's a fair assumption. If you had to point to one person, who gets the most credit for this resurgence?
You know, I think John Dorsey, the general manager, formerly of the Chiefs, has come in and given them a focus. His predecessor, Sashi Brown, was tremendous at creating assets and acquiring talent in terms of getting a lot of draft picks, making good trades, and clearing the deck for a successful football guy to come in. One of Sashi's issues was that he treated everything as a number and a commodity. It didn't necessarily translate well to the field or make the players feel like more than a number, quite honestly. Dorsey has done a very good job of overhauling that. And Baker Mayfield brings so much energy, but their other first-round pick, Denzel Ward, has been really good. A controversial pick at the time. He's one of the best corners in the league already. There's just so much. It seems like the team has been put together with a focus, and that credit goes to Dorsey.
Well, and I want to follow up on that because in basketball, you have a situation that's not exact, and they're different sports. But you have a situation in Philadelphia where the 76ers were horrible for years. And Sam Hinkie, as the GM of the Sixers, built that club, stockpiled picks, stockpiled talent, and then they bring in a new GM in the now gone Brian Colangelo, who did a couple of things. But Sam Hinkie did the bulk of the work, and now he is a living legend in the city of Philadelphia that fully credits him for rebuilding them. And I love the comparison you made between Dorsey and Sashi Brown and John Dorsey coming in last year. Do Cleveland fans feel anywhere close about Sashi as maybe Philly fans feel about Sam Hinkie, or do you think Dorsey gets all the credit?
No, it's divided. There are definitely some Sashi loyalists.
Mm-hmm.
He did not handle his exit well, and one of the big issues that he had was he left the office at 5 o'clock every day. He treated it like a 9-to-5 job. That rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It rubbed a lot of people in the organization the wrong way. And he last year on Halloween, he had pictures of him taking his kids trick or treating at like 6:30 at night, where he'd clearly been home for a while, and that's not how you operate during football season.
Sure.
As those of us who cover it know, it's at least a 15-hour day job covering it. I can't imagine coaching it. My goodness. So that didn't go so well for him. But there's a lot of people who will begrudgingly give him credit for laying the groundwork. They also, however, blamed him for hiring Hugh Jackson and for the debacle that was the last 2 seasons.
Last thing for you, as we talk to Jeff Risdon of the Browns Wire, we haven't even spent much time on Baker Mayfield. And this is a guy that with LeBron James leaving the city of Cleveland, he leaves this void that I'm sorry, but Francisco Lindor or any of the other Indians, they're not going to fill. I'm not going to ask you to compare Mayfield and LeBron James, but is Mayfield the heir apparent to that throne in Cleveland?
Oh, absolutely, and he has embraced it, and that's one of the reasons why I advocated the Browns taking him, even though he wasn't my top quarterback on the board. I thought he was the best fit for Cleveland. His mentality, the fact that he's been a walk-on before, that he's been defeated and didn't let it get him down, that's very much the spirit of Cleveland. They've adopted him nicely. He's overcome planting the flag at Ohio State last year with Oklahoma, which did not go over well and still gets a few eyebrow raises, but he is Cleveland now. And I'll bring this up. Denzel Ward, being from Ohio State and being a local Clevelander and playing really well, helps a lot, too. He's getting a lot of love in that city, and I think it's going to grow as he continues to grow. Their dynamic duo of top 5 picks, they are both very marketable guys as well. Mayfield being the face of the franchise, he wears it comfortably. That's not something that a Browns quarterback has done since Bernie Kosar back, 30 years ago. So it's been a long time coming. He's never going to be LeBron. Nobody will ever be LeBron. My goodness.
Sure.
The last time I cried as an adult was when he won that title for Cleveland, when he said, "Cleveland, this is for you." That's one of my favorite moments of my life. Baker will never get that, but if he can get this team to be a playoff contender, and God forbid a couple of playoff wins, he's going to be really darn close.
That's excellent stuff from Jeff Risdon on the Browns and Raiders coming up this Sunday. I don't often insult our guests, but with all due respect, Browns Wire writer, not quite as good as the guy from Lions Wire, but
I totally agree.
But they're in the same ballpark, and maybe one day with a lot of hard work and effort, Jeff, you can get to where that guy is, buddy.
I really hope so. I like that hat, too.
We appreciate your time. Check him out on Browns Wire. Check him out on Lions Wire. It's always great stuff. Jeff, we'll talk to you later this year. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right, take care. That is Jeff Risdon previewing this weekend's. That game, the Raiders are playing at home and favored by 2.5. They're favored by 2.5. And you know what they say? You get a field goal automatically at home. So is that telling me that if the Browns and Raiders are playing on a neutral site, that the Browns are favored in that game?
I think so.
I don't want to steal dumbass. We've got to keep
Dude.
that. I'm going to tell you right now.
Dude, no.
Lead pipe lock of the week.
No.
Put it all on the Raiders. I'm telling you right now, Raiders are going to win this game. The Raiders, I don't guarantee much.
The plucky underdog Raiders.
Yes.
Against the Cleveland Browns, who are just a juggernaut. They've won one in a row. It's true David and Goliath.
Do you think there's any chance that he sticks around and at some point Hugh Jackson can take the Browns to the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay. We'll take a break. When we come back. When we come back, Sam Amick will join us next, right here on The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK.